I've said it as well, like, I'm going to keep these 5 bags forever, but it's just not the case, guys. Like, nothing lasts forever. You change even if you can't help it, and your taste will change, your life will change, and sometimes you just have to go with the flow. Something so innocent and sweet about 2018. I remember just being so obsessed with Chanel, and when I look back at Louis Vuitton around this time as well, I was so obsessed with the Pochette Métis. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Jess. If you love shopping and handbag videos, please like and subscribe to my channel. Anyways guys, today I just had a few thoughts this morning. I really started to think about what handbags or what handbag YouTube will look like to people in 5 years, because sometimes I look back on my old videos and I realize that I've changed a lot in 2 years, and I think it is pretty normal for people to look different in 2 years, for their style to change, and it's actually crazy how fast things can change. The past few years we've all gone through a pretty rough time with C-19 and all that, and times are looking tough even now. People are saying, you know, everyone's becoming more poor, and well, the richer are becoming richer, and you know, everyone's going to start saving money and stop spending on luxury. I don't know about you guys, but for me, I just feel like things are getting scarier and things are just like not fun anymore or something. But maybe it's just like YouTube telling me this, I don't know, because I remember the feeling of luxury shopping was so exciting and just a whole different feeling back in 2017 and 2018. If you type in YouTube, guys, my 2018 handbag collection, there are so many YouTubers that I used to watch, or that I still watch, from 2017, 2018, Shea Whitney, LV Lover CC, Minx for All, like Oksana LV, like they've all done like big handbag collections back then, and you know, I'll link all the YouTubers I still watch and love, and I just feel like the trend back then was, I don't know, I feel like 2018 was a year where it became a little bit more normal to collect luxury handbags to excess, because prior to that there was people who like shared their handbag collection, but it was really like such a thing in 2017, 2018 to just watch someone's entire handbag collection, and there was definitely more of a focus on like particular things, like people who just collected Chanel. And I remember some of the most coveted colors from Chanel was definitely from 2017 and 2018, and I don't know what it was about these 2017, 2018 years that was so magical, but it was really, I feel like, a peak for most people's interest in luxury handbags. And you know, 2018 was the time where I bought my first Chanel Caviar Mini, and it was so hard to get, and I just felt like, oh my gosh, what a moment. I remember being so obsessed with the 18B raspberry red color, and people lusting over the 17C rose iridescent color. But I just don't see as many people as obsessed with particular Chanel shades as they were back in 2017 and 2018. Even 2019, like the 19S collection, people were going crazy, but it was something about those years that was so pivotal in people who collected Chanel handbags. And I don't know what's changed. Maybe after Carl passed away, the brand changed up, you know, maybe we've seen a lot of quality issues as well after 2021, so maybe that's changed people's perspective, and obviously all the price increases. But there was something so innocent and sweet about 2018. I remember just being so obsessed with Chanel, and when I look back at Louis Vuitton around this time as well, I was so obsessed with the Pochette Métis. It was the hottest bag to get. I still see plenty of people wearing the Pochette Métis, but it was just such a coveted bag that was so hard to get, and you just wanted to buy it, but you just couldn't get it. Same with mini pochettes. It was just such a thing, and there were so many people collecting the monogram, and there most certainly still is a lot of people collecting the monogram, but I just feel like back then it was just so fresh and like cool to see, like people collecting like the Nano Speedy and the Nano Noe and all that. But you know, I just feel like now that's just like, yeah, people still collect it, but it wasn't as like hyped as it was back then. Like back then it was like, oh my gosh, like we need the reverse monogram Palm Springs Mini. But yeah, what happened, guys? Like I just feel like that is just not as hyped anymore. But even though monogram is classic, like it was just such a thing in 2018 to share your entire monogram collection. Why is that? And you know, things like the Chanel vanity case as well, like that was also a hyped bag, but what happened to that bag? And like the obsession with Gucci? Can you guys remember when everyone was obsessed with the Gucci Marmot and like the Dionysus and the Sylvie bag? Like, you had to have at least one Gucci bag in your collection. Otherwise, like, who are you as a luxury YouTuber, right? Like, you need at least the Gucci Marmot or the Gucci Marmot camera bag. The Dionysus, like, even minimalist luxury YouTube channels had at least one Dionysus. And Gucci back then was just so insanely crazy, and the hype was so real. And not only that, but people were just obsessed with sneakers as well back in 2017, 2018. I don't know why that is, but people were just going, I was going insane for Nikes. I don't know why. And I know there still are people who are going insane for Nikes, but it was such like a thing. And those like Dior Nike shoes, was that 2019, guys? And then like the Louis Vuitton Supreme collab, that was also so hype. Like something about 2018 was so, like, you know, those 3 years, 2017, 2018, 2019, it was such like a peak time in luxury. I don't know. But then if you think about now, like I'm saying the last 3 years, like 2020 to 2023, there are so many more videos about Hermes, which honestly back in 2018, I could find hardly any videos about like Hermes bags. The Picotin was definitely not a bag anyone was talking about, because I remember my friend had a Picotin back in 2018 and I really wanted one, but I could find hardly anyone talking about it. And the only like Hermes collection I could find was like by Winnie Y and Mel in Melbourne, and also Purse on Fleek did a lot of Hermes videos back then as well, but there was hardly anyone talking about Hermes back in 2018. Like it was insane. But even though I loved learning about Hermes, it was something that I was like not on the top of my wish list at the time, because there was just so many other people talking about Louis Vuitton and Gucci, and to be honest, Chanel. But it's not until like 2022, 2023, I feel like the Hermes craze is in full force. And honestly, I'm worried that it's gonna like look really bad in 5 years. Like maybe the Mini Kelly and the Birkin 25 will just be like, oh, that is so 2020, because I don't know, there's so many more videos these days, like the last 3 years, about my Hermes journey and unboxing a Birkin 25, and I don't know, that never used to be the case, you know, in 2018. Why is it the case now? I mean, surely there was people talking about it back then, but now that is like the luxury thing to talk about on YouTube. I don't know why that is. Even just like talking about leather craftsmanship in general, that is something that Tanner Leatherstein definitely has brought to the luxury community, whereas maybe it wasn't as focused on in the past. And maybe going forward, people are going to be looking more at the quality of handbags as opposed to like really hyped up collections and logomania. But I'm not sure. This could also just be a phase we have in luxury YouTube that fizzles out as well. Like this whole topic of quiet luxury and paring back on the shopping, I feel like is a trend of now. Like people are saying that luxury is dying or less people buying luxury. That is not true. Luxury is booming, guys. Lots of people are still buying luxury. I mean, particularly people who are wealthy are just getting wealthier, and they're not going to slow down. Like, luxury is still very relevant, and it is something that I think is going to continue on YouTube as well, at least for another 10 years. But I know we're going to look back at this era of 2023 and think, wow, that was such a moment. Why was everyone obsessed with Hermes? And like, even things like Fendi Sequin Baguette and like the Chanel 19 is very 2020, or Bottega, that is so 2020 as well, like the Bottega cassette and like the Prada crystal and like toiletry pouches worn with a chain. Like that is so 2020, guys. Like I'm sure we're going to look back on this time and think like that was really random, but that's how fashion changes. And I think what we can take away from reflecting on previous years of YouTube is that, is anything even classic? And do luxury, like, I don't honestly think luxury bags, like people say, I'm going to keep this forever. And I've said it as well, like, I'm going to keep these 5 bags forever, but it's just not the case, guys. Like, nothing lasts forever. You change even if you can't help it, and your taste will change, your life will change. and sometimes you just have to go with the flow. Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily you have to take yourself too seriously. Don't feel bad for collecting a whole lot of logo because it's so not quite luxury, because honestly quite luxury is also a trend and it will fizzle out, and what people are saying online is not always the case either. Sometimes you have to like look into your own life and think, you know, what do I like? What is my style? I know I've changed a lot since 2018, and I'm sure I'll change, you know, a lot more by the time it's 2025. I don't know if I'll have all these bags again. Maybe I'll look back and think, wow, I was really obsessed with Hermes, like what the hell? But maybe I will like just stick to this collection as well. We don't know, because sometimes, you know, people find their style and they kind of just stick to it for like the rest of their life, so that could also happen. I think that tends to happen as well as you get older and you start to like discover what you love and feel comfortable with. So anyways guys, thanks again for listening to my video, and I'll talk to you guys on my next one. Bye!